guys, so a lot of you had questions today about the cladogram, so we're just gonna fix that really quick. I'm gonna reteach it again, but this time I'm gonna give you some helpful hints, some cheat sheets that I didn't want to tell you yesterday because it's not really like the best way to learn it, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway, so let's go check it out. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you the really cheat sheet, or like the easy way of how to do a cladogram. And if you guys want, I would recommend to either pull up your own assignment or at least write this down on a piece of paper, because I'm going to show you the cheats, or the easy way how to do this using question 1 from assignment 3. And yes, don't worry, I'll extend the due date, so it would actually be for tomorrow, which is going to be Friday morning is when it's going to be due. So I'll extend it for those of you who had a hard time doing it, that's fine, but I'm going to extend it another day. Alright, so let's get to the cheat sheet really quick. So remember, a cladogram just represents how close, relatively closeness, are in relationship that species has. So that D would be a species, C would be another species, that would be another one, that would be another one. They all have in common just one big old common ancestor. So they all come from the same one. So it's like if whatever this is was evolving throughout the years, and then some certain trait arise to make that unique species, another one for that one, another one on that one, another one for that one, and you're just adding on. So for the same trait that this one has, all of those three are going to have it. The trait that this one is going to develop for its new species is going to have all of them plus the ones behind it. This one is going to develop a new one that's going to have now 3 traits, like for example, and then everyone above it's going to have it, and no one behind it has that unique 3 traits, but this animal still has the other traits. So let's actually do question 1. So question 1 in assignment 3, that's my phone. Question 1 in assignment 3 just basically has, we have 4 species. So we have species 1 that has a tail, 4 legs, fangs. Species 2 has a tail. Species 3 has a tail and fangs. Species 4 has a tail, fur, and fangs. So the cheating way basically how to do this is you're going to go from least complicated, really simple organisms to the most complex, because throughout time, because remember, the higher up you go, the more time has passed. So the higher up you go, the more time has passed. So this animal right here, boom, it's already that species. It's been around for so many years. Species B had so long to evolve and get another trait. So the cheating way to do this technically actually is going to be the least complex, the least amount of traits are going to be on the left, and the most amount of traits, or the more complex organism, is going to be up here, or species. So based on that, let's do number 1. So we already said that those are your 4 species. So right now, which species has the least amount of traits, or it's the simplest one? It's going to be species 2. Species 2 only has a tail. So we'll write that, we'll do that for here. Species 1 is going to have only a tail. So what that means also is, since they're all going to be evolving through that common ancestor, this common ancestor was whatever this is. Let's just say it's just a blob. It's a circle. So it's just going to be a circle, but throughout time, at this point, that trait occurs, so now it's going to be a circle with a tail. And then everything else above that point in time, by default, will have a tail. Alright, so now we're going to go with, so this had only 1 trait, so it had 1 trait. So since I only had 1 trait out of those, that's the simplest one, because 1's really small, lower. So you're going from least traits, most amount of traits. 1's a lower number than the rest of them, so what goes after 1? Ta-da! It's going to be 2. So which one has 2 traits, or makes it the second simplest? It's going to be species 3. Because at this point in time, species 3 still has a tail. That is true, correct, because, look, species 1 had a tail from that common ancestor that was evolving, so by default, it's still going to inherit that tail, and it's also going to evolve with another trait, which is going to be fangs. So we'll just put fangs right there. So since it has a tail and fang, it has 2 traits, it makes it more complex than this species 1 that only had a tail. So this has 2 traits, makes it more complex than that one. Also, since this common ancestor was evolving, and at that point in time, this trait sprung up species 3, that means since everyone else is going to inherit the fangs now. Alright, so we have 2 more left. So let's just go with the number that's going to come after 2, which is 3. So we're going to look for 3 traits. So which one of those has 3 traits? Oh, look at that. Species 4 has 3 traits. So it has a tail. True, because all of them already have tails. So that's going to have a tail. And we could actually fill this one out too then. So by default, we already know it's going to be... Oh, wait, did I say species 1 for that one? No, I meant species 2. I'm sorry, my mistake. Species 1. And this is missing fur. There you go. That's why I was confused. So species 1 is going to have a tail. And then since fangs happened here, they all have fangs. We already write fangs right there. Fangs right there. But what makes this species different than that one, since this one only has a tail and a fang, is that 3rd unique trait, which is going to be fur. So it's got fur. So we'll just make this one all fuzzy. So it's a fuzzy one now. Alright. And then, just like the rest, since this common ancestor was evolving throughout time, it's going to pass down that gene to the next species. So this one is, by default, going to have fur too, so we can write that down. So it's going to have fur. I forgot the G. Alright. So now that we did this one, by default we already know it was species 1, process of elimination, and the last trait to develop was 4 legs. Boom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 4 legs now. Ta-da. Alright. So I really didn't want to teach you guys this because sometimes it's not really the case where it's low amount of traits that separate these species. For example, there could be like 1,000,000 traits, and do you really want to count 1,000,000 traits and see which one has less or more? What I wanted to teach you guys yesterday, which I think most of you got it, some of you didn't, and that's fine, that's perfectly okay. What I wanted you guys to understand was that these traits are what make these species unique. Right here, this species 1 is the only one out of all that we have these 4 traits. It's the only one that has a tail, fang, fur, 4 legs. So because this has all 4, it's going to make it unique compared to everyone else. If we're going to compare species 1 to species 3, it's going to be unique because species 2 only has a tail and fang, while species 3 has a tail and fang, while species 1 has a tail, fang, fur, and 4 legs. So for in order to this one to get it, we already know it has the 2 traits that species 3 had, but it has more on top of that. It's like you're adding on to it. So to add on to it, you need more time to evolve and adapt to get those traits. So that's why we know that this species was earlier in life from the common ancestor to be developed. So now we could actually put some dates onto it. So let's just say that 2.5 million years ago, this species came into existence. This one was 3.5, 4.5, and this is going to be 5.5. So that's a million years ago. That's how long in the past it happened for this species to come in to be unique, because they're all unique. They all do share this line, which is a common ancestor, but that common ancestor gave rise to these different species because of the unique traits that they only have. So in this instance, since it was 5.5 million years ago, really early on, this species 2 that shares that common ancestor only has a tail, which all those other species have, but because they had time to evolve, they got to add on another trait. So the cheating way to do this is going from the left to the right, the simplest to the most complex, or the least amount of traits. In instance for our homework assignment, the least amount of traits going to the right, which is the most amount of traits. So this is going to get you through most of the assignment. The only one you're going to have trouble with is going to be the very last one. That one, you're going to have a branching off right there. I'm not going to tell you how to do it now. We'll tell you how to do it later. But do your best to organize and figure out what needs to go here then. So there you go. Hopefully this does help. There you go, guys. Hopefully that works out. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me and all that fun stuff. We could do Zoom, private Zooms if you want. But yeah, that's it. And yes, I'm hiding in the closet because I did something bad. But it's okay. Well, now I can finally say this since I do have a YouTube channel. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, bye.